Beneath the unblinking desert sun, a colossal guardian gazes out over the Giza plateau, the Great Sphinx. Its sandstone face is battered and enigmatic, a silent witness to untold ages. But what if this ancient monument is hiding a secret that could rewrite our understanding of civilization itself? Could the Sphinx be far older than the pyramids it watches over? Perhaps a relic of a lost civilization erased by time. It's a question that sends a thrilling jolt through both historians and dreamers, and it all begins with the mysterious scars on the Sphinx's body.
For decades, Egyptologists have taught that the Sphinx was carved around 2500 BC during the reign of Pharaoh Khafra. In this view, it's an integral part of Khafra's pyramid complex, a magnificent sculpture hewn from bedrock as a guardian for the pharaoh's tomb. The stones removed to shape its massive lion's body were used to build a nearby temple, neatly tying the Sphinx into the rest of the Giza monuments. By all traditional accounts, the Sphinx is about 4,500 years old, no more, no less. But then, why do its walls and flanks look so different? Step closer to the Sphinx, into the pit that cradles its paws, and you'll see something puzzling. Deep vertical fissures and rolling, scooped-out hollows etched into the limestone. These weathering patterns resemble the aftermath of heavy torrential rains, unlikely in this arid region. Rainstorms in the Sahara Desert? Today, that idea seems almost absurd. Giza is arid, and has been for thousands of years. The last time Egypt saw sustained heavy rains was in a distant past, when prehistoric climates turned the desert green. And that is precisely what grabbed the attention of Boston University geologist Dr. Robert Schoch in the early 1990s. Schoch was invited to examine the Sphinx's erosion by researcher John Anthony West, and what he found astonished him. The Sphinx's weather-beaten body, Schoch observed, had the rounded, undulating profile of rock worn by water, lots of water, over a long time. The implications were radical. If rainwater carved those trenches, the Sphinx must have been carved during a much wetter epoch. Schoch initially proposed a date of 7000 BC, later pushing it back to the end of the Ice Age, perhaps even 10,000 BC. The idea ignited a firestorm of debate. Some hailed it as possible proof of a lost civilization. If true, who on earth carved the Sphinx in that primordial time? There are no records of any people in Egypt building stone monuments so early. One particularly provocative thread ties it to Atlantis, the mythical advanced civilization said to have perished around 9600 BC. That date is tantalizingly close to Schoch's revised age for the Sphinx. John Anthony West and others had long mused that survivors of Atlantis or another forgotten culture might have built the Sphinx and passed down their knowledge to the Egyptians. It sounds like pure fantasy, yet the rainfall evidence gave this scenario a veneer of geological plausibility. Even the constellations overhead seem to tease us with coincidences. The Sphinx, with a lion's body, faces due east, greeting the equinox sunrise. If you rewind the sky back to about 10,500 BC, that sunrise would have occurred under the constellation of Leo, the lion. Was the Sphinx deliberately oriented to mark that distant age of Leo? Some researchers believe so, suggesting its celestial alignment is a calling card of a time and civilization we've never known. Unsurprisingly, mainstream Egyptologists push back strongly against these claims. They argue that the water erosion hypothesis, while intriguing, is not definitive proof of unimaginable age. Critics point out that Egypt did experience bouts of heavy rain even within pharaonic times. Violent thunderstorms and the annual flooding of the Nile could have pounded the Sphinx over centuries. And yet, the Sphinx refuses to give up all its secrets. There are odd details that keep the questions alive. For one, the head of the Sphinx is peculiarly small relative to its huge crouching body. This has led to the suggestion that the Sphinx didn't always have a pharaoh's face. It might have originally been carved as a lion, or some other animal, and later recarved into the likeness of a king. If true, that could mean the core of the monument is older, and the head we see now was reshaped by a later dynasty. It would neatly explain why the head and face, made of a harder layer of limestone, show less extreme erosion than the torso. The ancient Egyptians could have found a weathered lion statue from a bygone age and repurposed it, turning it into a depiction of Khafra or another ruler, thereby absorbing a far older sacred artifact into their new kingdom. It's an astonishing thought, one empire literally carving its mark onto the relic of a predecessor about whom nothing else is known. No wonder the Sphinx has inspired more questions than answers. The beauty of this debate is that it's not just science versus fantasy, it's a testament to human curiosity. On one hand, we have the rigorous analysis of geologists and archaeologists, carefully examining stratified evidence and historical context. On the other, the bold vision of rogue theorists and imaginative researchers challenging us to think bigger and older. The Great Sphinx sits at the crossroads of these approaches. Its weathered body dares us to question the established timeline, but its archaeological surroundings urge us to be cautious. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, or is something we haven't even thought of yet. Perhaps the truth of its origin will one day be uncovered, chiseling away our ignorance like a sculptor freeing a form from stone. And if you think the Sphinx has kept us guessing, just wait until you hear what lies hidden in the uncharted jungles. Our journey into the mysteries of the past is far from over. From the arid sands of Egypt, we now venture into the green depths, where scientists have recently uncovered something astonishing: the ruins of a lost civilization entangled in vines, a culture lost to history that you've never heard of. Join us in our next exploration as we trek into the rainforest to unveil this breathtaking discovery. The Sphinx's secrets may be compelling, but deep in the jungle, an even greater surprise awaits.
That there was a single common and relatively recent origin for Native Americans, and that they came across the Bering Straits when the Bering Straits were a land bridge. That explanation no longer holds because of that Australasian DNA in the Amazon.
Everybody's heard about the Aztecs, everybody's heard about the Maya. But before the Aztecs and before the Maya, there were a culture who are referred to as the Olmecs. I explored the Olmec mystery in considerable depth.
At the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, an era brimming with curiosity and the spirit of discovery, the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica began to captivate scholars and adventurers alike. This period, steeped in Victorian-era fascination, saw ancient cultures not as relics of the past, but as windows into a grand, albeit lost, world.
The settlement story of the Americas is much more complicated than we've realized.
Fueled by a mix of exploration, colonization, and a penchant for romanticizing the unknown, people were drawn to the mysteries that ancient societies held. Institutions in Europe and the United States, including museums and universities, recognized the value of understanding these indigenous civilizations. They began to fund expeditions, not just for the sake of collecting artifacts, but to delve deeper into the history and culture of these ancient peoples. This marked a significant shift in archaeology, transforming it from a quest for treasures to a scientific discipline focused on careful excavation and analysis.
This is part of a curious mystery that is not unconnected to the genetic mystery.
The Olmec civilization, with its colossal heads and intricate stone structures, was one of the earliest to be uncovered. Yet in these initial stages, many artifacts were mistakenly attributed to the more familiar Maya and Aztec civilizations. This was largely due to their apparent similarities in artistic style, and because these civilizations were better understood at the time.
It's been known by archaeologists for quite a long time that there are anomalous skulls in parts of Brazil.
The unique aspects of Olmec art and iconography were not immediately recognized, highlighting the challenges faced by early archaeologists in differentiating between the complex cultures of the region. Two figures who played a pivotal role in bringing the wonders of Mesoamerica to the Western world were John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood. Their expeditions, documented in Incidents of Travel in Central America, Chiapas and Yucatan, and Incidents of Travel in Yucatan, not only introduced the Maya civilization to many, but also set a standard for future archaeological work. Their detailed illustrations and engaging narratives captured the imagination of the public, sparking a wave of interest in ancient Mesoamerican cultures. This era also saw the beginnings of comparative archaeology, where discoveries from Mesoamerica were placed in a global context, offering new perspectives on the development of human societies. Museums evolved from mere collections of curiosities to centers of research and education, significantly contributing to the dissemination of knowledge about these ancient cultures. Furthermore, the late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the emergence of interdisciplinary approaches in archaeology, incorporating anthropology, linguistics, and even early environmental science, which enriched the understanding of Mesoamerican civilizations. The story of how the colossal stone heads became recognized as a key to understanding the Olmec civilization is a fascinating tale of curiosity, exploration, and eventual enlightenment within the archaeological world. Initially stumbled upon by Western archaeologists in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these massive sculptures, some towering over 9 feet tall and weighing several tons, presented a mystery.
But what's fascinating about them is they are supposedly the first high civilization of Central America.
With their distinctive facial features, including flat noses and fleshy cheeks and often adorned with helmet-like headgear, they captivated those who found them but left many questions unanswered.
What do we think those helmets were that they were wearing?
Nobody knows, because no physical example of such a helmet has ever been found, just like no physical example of an Egyptian pharaoh's crown has ever been found.
The first significant acknowledgement of these heads came from José Melgar Serrano in 1862, when he uncovered one at Tres Zapotes in Veracruz. Melgar described the sculpture as having Ethiopian features, a reflection of the era's interpretations and biases, underscoring how little was known about the Olmecs then. Although Melgar's discovery was groundbreaking, it was initially seen as an isolated find rather than evidence of a broader, unknown civilization. For decades, these colossal heads were viewed more as curious anomalies rather than vital cultural artifacts. Without a wider archaeological context, their true significance was overlooked, and they were sometimes wrongly attributed to other known civilizations like the Maya or Aztec, or even to entirely speculative, unknown cultures. It was a puzzle missing its broader picture, waiting for the pieces to be put together. The narrative began to shift in the mid-20th century, thanks to more focused and systematic excavations in the Olmec heartland, led by archaeologists such as Matthew Stirling. These efforts unearthed additional colossal heads alongside other artifacts, helping to piece together the puzzle of the Olmec civilization. It was through this dedicated work that the Olmecs were finally recognized as a distinct and influential culture in Mesoamerica, predating and potentially influencing subsequent civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs. In 1945, a groundbreaking expedition led by Matthew Stirling to San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan dramatically advanced our understanding of the Olmec civilization, an enigmatic culture that laid the foundational stones of Mesoamerican history. Recognizing the potential significance of these sites, the Smithsonian Institution stepped in, providing the necessary support and funding for a more thorough exploration. The vastness of San Lorenzo, spreading across several kilometers, presented another hurdle. It was impossible to excavate the entire site in one go, so Stirling and his team had to make strategic decisions about where to dig, prioritizing areas where surface finds indicated the presence of significant artifacts. This meticulous approach to excavation was critical, requiring careful planning, mapping, and a methodical technique to ensure the delicate artifacts, some centuries old, were preserved for future study. As they cleared the jungle overgrowth and dug into the ancient soil, Stirling's team was not just unearthing artifacts, they were also piecing together the story of the Olmec civilization. Every artifact, every stone, and every fragment of pottery added a new chapter to our understanding of this ancient culture. The detailed recording and documentation of their findings were essential, providing a basis for future analysis and helping to paint a fuller picture of the Olmec way of life. San Lorenzo, dating back to around 1200 to 900 BCE, stands as a monumental beacon in the study of Mesoamerican history, often celebrated as the oldest major city in the region. This ancient city predates the civilizations of the Maya and Aztecs, providing a unique glimpse into the dawn of complex societies in the Americas. Thanks to radiocarbon dating, researchers have been able to pin down the timeline of San Lorenzo, offering a clearer view of the Olmec civilization's early days. Among the most striking discoveries at San Lorenzo, the site has yielded jade figurines and celts, indicating robust trade networks and the cultural significance of jade. An array of pottery styles found at the site offers insights into daily life, artistic expression, and the Olmec's trade relations. The discovery of large structures, including platforms and possible elite residences, points to a highly organized society capable of mobilizing significant labor resources. The urban layout of San Lorenzo, organized around a central axis, reflects a thoughtfully planned development. The existence of distinct ceremonial and residential areas suggests a sophisticated urban structure, possibly mirroring social hierarchies within the Olmec society. In the 1950s, the archaeological spotlight turned to Venta, an Olmec site in Tabasco, Mexico, building on the momentum of earlier discoveries at San Lorenzo. This shift marked a significant phase in unraveling the mysteries of the Olmec civilization, regarded as one of the earliest complex societies in Mesoamerica. With a renewed interest in the Olmec culture, archaeologists like Philip Drucker and Robert Heiser applied advanced methods and interdisciplinary approaches to dig deeper into the site's secrets, offering a more comprehensive understanding of this ancient civilization. Venta thrived between approximately 900 to 400 BCE, a period that witnessed the peak of Olmec cultural and artistic development. This era underscored the Olmecs' remarkable achievements in architecture, art, and urban planning, setting a precedent for subsequent Mesoamerican cultures. Among the distinct features of Venta is the Great Pyramid, a monumental structure made of earth and clay, noted for its unique conical shape. Unlike the pyramidal structures that would later dominate Mesoamerican landscapes, the Great Pyramid's design and scale highlight the Olmec's advanced engineering skills and their capacity for organizing large-scale construction projects. This pyramid, along with other structures at the site, was aligned with celestial bodies, hinting at the Olmec's sophisticated understanding of astronomy and suggesting its role as a ceremonial and cultural hub. The systematic excavation efforts at Venta brought to light not only architectural innovations but also a wealth of artifacts, including the iconic colossal heads carved from basalt, believed to represent rulers or significant figures within Olmec society. Similarly, altars adorned with intricate carvings provided glimpses into the civilization's mythology and rituals. Venta also revealed complex burial sites and offerings, including serpentine mosaic pavements, which offered insights into the civilization's funerary practices and religious beliefs. These findings have been instrumental in piecing together the social structure, religious practices, and artistic achievements of the Olmec civilization, significantly influencing the study of Mesoamerican archaeology. However, the preservation of Venta faces challenges due to the tropical climate and human factors, underscoring the importance of ongoing research and conservation efforts. The exploration of Venta in the 1950s was a watershed moment in understanding the depth and complexity of the Olmec civilization, providing a foundation for future studies and ensuring the legacy of this pivotal culture in Mesoamerican history remains appreciated and preserved.
There was a Spanish traveler who crossed the entire width of South America. Some years after the conquest of Peru had begun, he reported seeing huge cities. Within 100 years, other Spaniards were in there exploring. They couldn't find the cities. So they said, he must have made it all up. And that's what academia continued to say. And they're only being found now.
Perched on the rugged hills overlooking the ancient city of Cusco, the capital of the Inca Empire, stands the majestic fortress of Sacsayhuaman. This colossal structure, crafted with mind-boggling precision and architectural genius, has withstood the ravages of time, silently guarding the secrets of a civilization long past.
This is one of those cases where the science is even more sensational than the headlines.
Imagine stones so large and perfectly fitted that not even a piece of paper can slide between them, and you begin to grasp the mystery and allure of Sacsayhuaman. This fortress, more than just a military bastion, is a testament to the Incas' advanced understanding of engineering, astronomy, and their profound connection to the natural world, challenging us to rethink our perceptions of the ancient world. Its story begins long before it caught the eye of Western historians and archaeologists, having been a significant part of local life and culture well before the Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire in the early 16th century.
The horrendous catastrophe of the Spanish conquest. The Spanish sent ahead of them terrible diseases like smallpox.
The Spanish first encountered Sacsayhuaman during their conquest of Cusco in 1533. Led by Francisco Pizarro and his brothers, the conquistadors were immediately struck by the grandeur and precision of the fortress, which was then a central feature of the Inca capital. Among the earliest and most vivid descriptions we have of Sacsayhuaman were penned by Pedro Sancho, Pizarro's secretary. Writing shortly after the fall of Cusco, Sancho's detailed accounts, alongside those of his contemporaries, provided a first glimpse into the size of the stones and the sophistication of the construction, laying a foundation for future archaeological investigations.
That's me, for scale, standing beside that block.
As the 19th century rolled around, the ruins of Sacsayhuaman piqued the interest of international travelers and scholars, spurred on by the growing field of archaeology. Notable among these was Ephraim George Squire, who visited Peru in the 1860s. His detailed sketches and descriptions further fueled worldwide interest and brought more attention to the site's historical and architectural significance. By the early 20th century, the first systematic studies were underway, mapping the site's structures and attempting to understand its historical context. However, these early efforts were often limited by the techniques of the time and a colonial mindset that occasionally misinterpreted the site's purpose and construction.
Archaeology gives this work entirely to the Incas, even though the Incas themselves recognized and honored the work of predecessors.
Advancements in archaeological methods in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, including digital mapping, detailed stratigraphic analysis, and remote sensing, have significantly enhanced our understanding of Sacsayhuaman. These modern techniques have shed light on the construction sequence, the true extent of the site, and its various phases of use, ensuring that each stone and artifact found continues to contribute to the story of a civilization known for its remarkable architectural feats and deep integration with its environment and the cosmos. The construction of Sacsayhuaman stands as a pinnacle of Incan engineering and craftsmanship, incorporating advanced techniques that continue to puzzle historians and engineers even today. The massive boulders used in its construction were quarried from limestone deposits around Cusco, and transporting these behemoths, some weighing as much as 200 tons and spanning several kilometers, remains one of the great enigmas of Incan ability. It is believed that thousands of laborers, without the aid of the wheel or large animals, maneuvered these stones using nothing but logs, ropes, and collective human strength. The cutting precision of these stones is nothing short of extraordinary. The Incas mastered a technique known as ashlar masonry, which allowed them to fit stones so tightly together that no mortar was needed. The fit is so snug that not even a blade of grass can slip through the joints, which also provided significant earthquake resistance. The stones could shift slightly and resettle without causing the structure to collapse, an essential feature in the earthquake-prone Andes. Moreover, the architectural layout of the walls, composed of gigantic stones in a zigzag pattern, forms three parallel lines that merge into a formidable barrier. This design served not only as a strategic military defense, but also held symbolic meanings, perhaps representing the teeth of a puma, with Cusco itself theorized to be laid out in the shape of this sacred animal when viewed from above. Expanding beyond its visible structure, the layout of Sacsayhuaman is deeply complex and extends into both ceremonial and strategic realms. The zigzag walls, stretching over 600 meters, seem to echo the jagged peaks of the Andes themselves, blending the natural landscape into its sacred architecture. This design not only provided a stunning aesthetic connection to its surroundings, but also reflected the Incas' profound reverence for nature and the deities believed to reside within these natural elements. Researchers have also suggested that Sacsayhuaman's design incorporates an acoustic feature. Tests have shown that sounds made at certain points within the complex can be clearly heard across vast distances without any echo, indicating a sophisticated understanding of sound dynamics. This acoustical engineering would have been particularly advantageous during large gatherings and ceremonies, allowing leaders' voices to be projected to extensive crowds. Additionally, the site's astronomical significance is highlighted by the orientations of its walls and specific architectural features, which align with celestial events such as solstices and equinoxes. Continuing with the architectural and engineering marvels of Sacsayhuaman, the Incas demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in water management by incorporating an advanced drainage system within the construction. This system was critical in handling the heavy rainfalls typical of the region, effectively preventing erosion and water damage to the structure. Alongside this, the tiered terraces not only provided a robust defense mechanism, but were also ingeniously used to manage soil erosion and fertility, likely supporting gardens or smaller structures within the complex. When comparing Sacsayhuaman to another iconic Inca site, Machu Picchu, some intriguing differences and similarities emerge, particularly in terms of purpose, function, and construction techniques. Sacsayhuaman, often misconceived solely as a fortress due to its massive walls and strategic location, primarily served as a ceremonial site and a symbol of imperial power and divine authority. In contrast, Machu Picchu, built around the mid-15th century, functioned as a royal estate for Emperor Pachacuti and was heavily focused on religious ceremonies and astronomical observations. The construction styles of these two sites also reflect their differing roles and philosophies. Sacsayhuaman is characterized by the use of enormous stones, meticulously fitted together without the use of mortar. This construction technique, showcasing large-scale monumental architecture, was likely intended to display power and durability. On the other hand, Machu Picchu, while also renowned for its precision stonework, utilizes smaller, more regularly shaped stones that integrate seamlessly with the natural landscape, reflecting an overarching philosophy of harmony and balance with nature. Moreover, the locations and overall designs of Sacsayhuaman and Machu Picchu further highlight their distinct purposes. Sacsayhuaman's position on a high plateau overlooking Cusco gives it a robust, militaristic, and expansive design, symbolizing its role as a guardian over the capital. In stark contrast, Machu Picchu is nestled between mountain peaks, often enshrouded in mist, creating a more secluded and mystical ambience that is designed to blend into its mountainous surroundings, emphasizing its spiritual and retreat-like nature. These strategic choices in location and design not only served practical purposes, but also conveyed the spiritual and cultural values of the Inca civilization. Continuing the exploration of Incan architectural ingenuity, Sacsayhuaman not only stands out as an architectural and ceremonial masterpiece, but also as a strategic military fortress, exemplifying the Incas' deep understanding of military tactics and effective landscape utilization. Its defensive characteristics are meticulously designed, blending the natural and constructed environments seamlessly. Strategically perched on a hill overlooking Cusco, Sacsayhuaman's elevated position offered the Incas a crucial vantage point from which they could observe any approaching threats. This advantageous positioning provided ample time to prepare defenses or mount counterattacks, making it an integral part of the region's security. Access to Sacsayhuaman was deliberately limited, with a few heavily guarded entrances. These were intentionally designed to be narrow, forcing attacking forces to enter in reduced numbers and become vulnerable to attacks from defenders positioned along the walls above and to the sides. Within the walls, the arrangement allowed for excellent visibility and easy communication between different sections of the fortress. Signal fires and other forms of visual messaging were used to coordinate defensive efforts across Sacsayhuaman and with other nearby fortifications, further enhancing its defensive capabilities. When comparing the defensive structures of Sacsayhuaman with those of medieval European castles, like the iconic Edinburgh Castle in Scotland, several intriguing contrasts and similarities come to light. Unlike the stone and mortar construction typical of European castles, Sacsayhuaman's walls were crafted using the ashlar technique, which involves fitting stones together without mortar. This technique not only provided significant earthquake resistance, but also ensured there were no weak points like mortar that could be easily undermined or eroded. Both Sacsayhuaman and many medieval castles share the strategic positioning on elevated ground, a common defensive feature that underscores the universal tactical advantage of controlling high ground. This strategic similarity highlights the shared understanding of defensive architecture across different cultures and epochs, each adapting to their unique environments and technological capabilities.
But what's fascinating about them is they are supposedly the first high civilization of Central America, that they create structures on a massive scale, that you can see connections between them and the later Maya.
For the Maya, the Milky Way was a particularly important feature of the heavens. They conceived of it as the road that led to their netherworld, Xibalba.
In the verdant lands of Central America, the ancient Maya civilization flourished with a mysterious brilliance that continues to captivate the world. Among the many enigmas they left behind, their profound understanding of astronomy stands as a testament to their intellectual prowess. Graham Hancock, a modern explorer of ancient mysteries, delves deep into this aspect of the Maya, proposing intriguing theories that stretch the bounds of conventional history.
That whole mystery of the Mayan calendar was clearly inherited from the Olmecs. It wasn't something the Maya made up. The Olmecs used that same symbolism. So the Mayan calendar is actually an Olmec calendar.
The Maya long count calendar, a marvel of ancient engineering, intricately tracked a 5,125-year cycle with astonishing precision. This calendar wasn't just a tool for marking time. It was a complex understanding of celestial cycles, intertwining the Maya's daily lives with the cosmos. Hancock suggests that this precision hints at a deeper, possibly inherited, knowledge of astronomy. Was this sophisticated understanding a legacy from a much older, now lost civilization? When one looks at the grandeur of Maya structures such as the pyramid at Chichen Itza, the brilliance of their astronomical alignment is striking. During the equinoxes, the play of light and shadow on this pyramid creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down its steps. To Hancock, these architectural marvels are not just buildings, but celestial maps, echoing an advanced understanding of the cosmos.
Orion was extensively involved in Mayan rebirth beliefs, which described the constellation and specifically its three belt stars as the turtle of rebirth. In Egypt, as amongst the Maya, the stellar context involves Orion and the Milky Way.
The Maya's awareness of the ecliptic, the path followed by the sun, moon, and planets across the sky, further fuels Hancock's theories. Their ability to predict solar and lunar eclipses and track the movements of Venus, which they revered as the god Kukulkan, showcases their deep astronomical knowledge. Did they learn this from an older civilization? Hancock wonders. A civilization lost in the depths of time. Hancock theorizes that the Maya might have been part of a vast network of ancient civilizations, sharing knowledge across seas and continents. This global maritime culture, as he envisages, could have been a conduit for transferring advanced astronomical and architectural knowledge to the Maya. The architectural designs of the Maya, seen in their pyramids, temples, and cities, reflect a level of technological and engineering skill that seems almost ahead of their time. Were these skills handed down from a previous, more advanced civilization? The mathematical systems of the Maya, including their use of zero, a concept rare in the ancient world, were integral to their astronomical calculations. Hancock proposes that this mathematical sophistication, too, might be a legacy from a forgotten civilization.
We're not what it's all about at all. That there may have been an earlier civilization that reached a high level of advancement, perhaps different from ours, but nevertheless an advanced civilization, which was just taken out of the story completely by a global cataclysm.
In a tale woven from the threads of ancient mysteries, Graham Hancock, a modern-day seeker of lost truths, presents a fascinating theory. He imagines a world where an advanced civilization, predating the ancient cultures known to history, once thrived. This civilization, possibly flourishing before the last ice age ended around 10,000 BCE, was a beacon of knowledge in fields like astronomy, architecture, and mathematics. Hancock's story tells of a society whose influence stretched far beyond its own time and space, touching various corners of the ancient world, including the enigmatic Maya civilization.
I think, and it's my case, that it wiped our memory of a previous episode of human civilization, that right at the epicenter of this cataclysm was a civilization that we would regard as advanced, not a simple hunter-gatherer civilization, which was utterly wiped out in this cataclysmic event.
However, this ancient global society in Hancock's story faced a dramatic and catastrophic end. He hypothesizes that a cataclysmic event, such as a comet impact or a massive flood, nearly obliterated this civilization. But not all was lost. The survivors, carrying the torch of their advanced knowledge, ventured out into the world. These bearers of ancient wisdom found their way to other, less advanced societies and shared their knowledge, planting the seeds for new civilizations to grow. Among these were the Maya, who, in Hancock's view, may have been one of the many inheritors of this ancient legacy. Hancock points to the Mayas' remarkable architectural and astronomical achievements as evidence of this influence. The precision of their calendar systems, their understanding of celestial cycles, and the alignment of their buildings with astronomical events are, in his narrative, not just the fruits of their own ingenuity, but possibly a heritage from a civilization lost in the mists of time. He draws parallels between the architectural styles, religious beliefs, and astronomical knowledge found across various ancient cultures, suggesting these similarities might be remnants of a shared source of ancient wisdom.
Because we now know that at that time, between 12,800 and 11,600 years ago, truly global cataclysmic events involving rapid rises in sea level did occur, and suddenly the worldwide tradition of a global flood stops being just a myth and starts being a memory.
In a narrative that intertwines the mysteries of ancient seas with the Maya calendar, Graham Hancock, a storyteller of history's hidden chapters, brings to life his theories of a bygone era. He paints a picture of an ancient world, not fragmented by vast oceans, but connected through them. This world, according to Hancock, was home to a sophisticated global maritime culture. This culture, adept in the art of navigation and shipbuilding, embarked on extensive sea voyages, knitting together the far-flung civilizations of the ancient world. Hancock's tale is not just about the movement of ships, but also about the flow of ideas, technologies, and beliefs. He sees the similarities in architectural styles and construction techniques across different ancient cultures as whispers of a shared knowledge, possibly disseminated through this maritime network. In this story, ancient seafarers are the unsung heroes, ferrying not just goods but also the seeds of culture and religion across the world's watery expanse. He draws parallels with the Polynesian navigators, known for their remarkable oceanic voyages, suggesting that similar capabilities could have existed among these ancient maritime cultures.
They're telling us that this lost civilization was submerged in a great flood around 11,600 years before our time. This is why I think we need to pay attention to the Atlantis story, rather than just write it off as the ravings of the lunatic fringe.
But Hancock's narrative takes an intriguing turn as he touches upon the mysterious Maya civilization and their long count calendar. This calendar, a sophisticated timekeeping system, tracks a cycle of approximately 5,125 years, culminating in a date that modern calendars align with December 21st, 2012. Hancock, weaving a tale from the threads of time, views this not as an apocalyptic end, but as a significant moment in Maya cosmology, a marker of major transition or transformation. In this story, the 2012 phenomenon is not a tale of doom, but a moment of cosmological significance, possibly indicating a shift in human consciousness or the dawn of a new era in human history. Hancock uses this moment to discuss the broader concept of historical cycles, how ancient civilizations understood and measured time, and their alignment with astronomical events such as the precession of the equinoxes and the galaxy's alignment. Graham Hancock, a modern-day chronicler of lost civilizations, presents a captivating theory. He tells a story of Earth's history punctuated by cataclysmic events, asteroid impacts, massive floods, and volcanic eruptions that have periodically reshaped the course of human civilization. In this tale, these cataclysms are not just natural disasters, but pivotal moments that lead to the rise and fall of civilizations, causing a reset of human progress.
Very little is left of the ancient North American monuments. More than 90% of the structures that were documented in the 19th century are now completely gone. And of the less than 10% that remain, the majority have been vandalized and destroyed.
Discovering the ancient Maya civilization has been like piecing together a giant, fascinating puzzle. Picture this. Back in the 16th century, Spanish explorers led by folks like Hernán Cortés stumbled upon the remnants of a once glorious civilization, with towering cities now reclaimed by the jungle.
Oh, the tragedy of the North American pyramids. There was once more than 1 million of them. Only 100,000 are left now.
Sadly, their initial encounters weren't the most respectful. A lot of Maya history got lost or destroyed, thanks to biases and a general lack of understanding.
The horrendous catastrophe of the Spanish conquest. The Spanish sent ahead of them terrible diseases like smallpox.
Fast forward to the 19th century, and there's a renewed buzz about the Maya. This time, it's explorers and adventurers trekking through the jungles of Central America and the Yucatan Peninsula, hungry for knowledge about these ancient peoples. Two guys, John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood, became the rock stars of Maya exploration. In the 1830s and 1840s, they journeyed to sites like Copan and Palenque, sketching and writing about their finds. Their work lit up the world's imagination with tales and visuals of the Maya's grand cities and sophisticated culture. By the 20th century, studying the Maya had become a serious scientific endeavor. Archaeologists got down and dirty in the ruins, conducting careful digs and uncovering secrets that the Maya left behind. Big projects at places like Copan and Chichen Itza peeled back layers of mystery, revealing intricate details about how the Maya lived, worshipped, and governed themselves.
If you have a relatively short time frame to deal with, then searching for a lost civilization becomes much more complex and much more difficult.
Discoveries at Tikal and Palenque gave us peeks into royal life, with their elaborate tombs and stunning artwork. Not to mention proof of the Maya's knack for architecture and stargazing. The lost city of El Mirador, hidden for centuries beneath the dense canopy of northern Guatemala's jungle, stands as a monumental witness to the ancient Maya civilization's grandeur and ingenuity. Rediscovered in the late 20th century, this city has profoundly reshaped our understanding of the Maya, pushing back the timeline of their architectural and societal achievements to much earlier than previously recognized. Flourishing from the 6th century BCE, El Mirador was a preeminent city in the Maya world during the pre-classic period, centuries before the rise of the more commonly known classical Maya cities such as Tikal and Palenque. Its scale and complexity are astonishing, with sprawling urban centers, elaborate plazas, and sophisticated water management systems, including reservoirs and canals, that supported a densely populated area at its zenith. The centerpiece of El Mirador is the colossal La Danta pyramid. Towering above the forest, La Danta is not just the largest pyramid in the Maya world, but also one of the most massive ancient structures in the world by volume. The pyramid's base covers an area larger than 9 football fields, and it rises to a height of approximately 230 feet. Constructing La Danta would have required moving millions of cubic meters of earth and stone. A staggering feat given the absence of metal tools, the wheel, or domesticated beasts of burden. This monumental effort underscores the advanced engineering skills and social organization of the Maya, capable of mobilizing and sustaining such a large workforce. El Mirador's discovery also brought to light an extensive network of raised causeways, known as Sacsayhuaman, connecting it with other cities and settlements across the region. These causeways facilitated trade, movement, and possibly acted as political and ceremonial pathways, illustrating the city's importance as a regional hub. One of the most intriguing theories about El Mirador, and the pre-classic Maya in general, concerns the reasons for the city's decline and eventual abandonment around the end of the first millennium BCE. Researchers speculate that extensive deforestation and the demands of large-scale agriculture may have led to environmental degradation, reducing the city's ability to support its population. This theory suggests a cautionary tale about the sustainability of human-environment interactions, echoing modern concerns about environmental management and conservation. Comparatively, El Mirador and its monumental architecture can be paralleled with ancient Egypt's Old Kingdom, which was contemporaneously constructing its own colossal structures, including the pyramids of Giza. Both civilizations achieved remarkable architectural feats without the advantages of modern technology, relying instead on a profound understanding of engineering, astronomy, and mathematics. However, whereas Egypt's pyramids served primarily as tombs for pharaohs, Maya pyramids like Ladanta were multifunctional, serving as temples and possibly observatories, reflecting the Mayas' integrated approach to religion, governance, and science. The decipherment of the Maya script stands as one of the most enthralling detective stories in the history of archaeology and linguistics. For centuries, the intricate hieroglyphs carved into stone monuments, painted on pottery, and written in the few surviving bark paper books remained a locked treasure trove of the ancient Maya civilization's wisdom. The breakthrough in the 20th century, primarily attributed to the insights of Russian linguist Yuri Knorozov, transformed our understanding of the Maya, unveiling a civilization rich in history, culture, and scientific knowledge. The Maya script is a complex system of glyphs which had stumped scholars for years. Early attempts at decipherment were hampered by the assumption that the script was purely ideographic, representing ideas rather than sounds, much like the Egyptian hieroglyphs before their decipherment. This led to numerous speculative and often incorrect interpretations of Maya texts. The turning point came in the 1950s with Yuri Knorozov. He proposed that the glyphs were not only logographic, but also phonetic, representing sounds. Knorozov's insight was based on the use of the Landa alphabet, a set of glyphs recorded by Spanish Bishop Diego de Landa, which had been dismissed by many as inaccurate. Knorozov suggested that these glyphs could represent phonetic sounds as well as logographic symbols. This approach opened the door to reading the Maya script as a fully functional writing system that included phonetic elements. Knorozov's work sparked a new wave of interest and research, leading to a collaborative international effort to crack the Maya code. Scholars such as David Kelly, Tatiana Proskouriakov, and later Linda Scheller and David Stewart, among others, made significant contributions. Proskouriakov, in particular, was instrumental in demonstrating that many inscriptions were historical records of Maya rulers and their deeds, rather than purely mythological texts as previously thought. This shifted the direction of Maya epigraphy towards historical reconstruction. One fascinating theory that has emerged from the study of Maya texts is the advanced nature of Maya astronomy and mathematics. The decipherment of the Dresden Codex, one of the surviving Maya books, revealed complex tables for predicting lunar and solar eclipses, the movements of the planet Venus, and the cycles of the Maya calendar. At the heart of their astronomical studies was the observatory at Chichen Itza, known as the Caracol. This structure, with its distinctive round dome and strategically placed openings, served as a window to the heavens, allowing Maya astronomers to accurately track the movements of Venus, the Sun, and other significant celestial entities. The precise alignment of the Caracol's windows with these celestial bodies' appearances and disappearances throughout the year underscores the Mayas' advanced architectural skills and their capacity to harmonize their construction efforts with their extensive knowledge of astronomy. This integration of astronomy into various aspects of Maya life highlights a civilization that valued the stars not merely as subjects of curiosity, but as essential guides for earthly endeavors. The Mayas' legacy in astronomy evidenced by their codices, observatories and calendars, offers a glimpse into a society that found harmony in the cosmic order and sought to align its terrestrial activities with the celestial rhythm. It's a tale not too dissimilar to the story of the Rosetta Stone and the Egyptian hieroglyphs, but with a twist. You see, the Rosetta Stone was like getting the cheat codes to understand Egyptian hieroglyphs because it had translations right there. But with the Maya, there wasn't a neat bilingual text lying around. Instead, figuring out what those intricate carvings and paintings meant required a mix of smart guessing, deep cultural dives, and a bit of detective work in understanding the symbols not just as pictures, but as a complex blend of sounds and meanings. Now imagine trying to understand a writing system that's not only about what things are, but also how they sound. And that's what the Maya script is all about. It's this incredible collection of over 800 different glyphs, making it one of the showiest, most elaborate scripts you could lay your eyes on. And the coolest part, we're still unlocking the secrets of this ancient script. The Maya script's ongoing decipherment is a reminder that history isn't just about looking back. It's a story that keeps evolving as we learn more.
It's interesting that the patterns are geometrical. Someone made it,
Yeah.
and it involved a very large amount of organized labor in order to make it. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that.
Nestled on the outskirts of Cusco, the once thriving capital of the Inca Empire, lies the enigmatic site of Sacsayhuaman. This marvel of ancient engineering has captured the imagination of historians and archaeologists alike, thanks to its remarkable architectural features.
I would prefer to propose, and I have proposed, that what we're looking at is evidence of some kind of transfer of technology, that people came into that area who had other knowledge.
The site, believed to have been a royal estate or a sacred space for Inca leaders, is most famous for its colossal stone walls, forming three-tiered terraces that zigzag across the landscape like the teeth of some giant beast. The sheer size of the stones used, some tipping the scales at a staggering 200 tons, and the precision with which they're fitted together is nothing short of awe-inspiring.
This is a very neglected area of the world as far as deep and ancient archaeology goes.
The joints between these massive boulders are so meticulously crafted that they leave no space for even a sliver of paper to pass through, showcasing an advanced knowledge of stonemasonry and perhaps an understanding of seismic activities, as these structures have withstood numerous earthquakes over the centuries. While mainstream archaeology attributes these feats to the Incas' sophisticated engineering skills, using simple but effective tools and techniques, Graham Hancock invites us to ponder a more mysterious origin.
A curious mystery that is not unconnected to the genetic mystery.
He speculates that the Inca might have been heirs to a legacy of knowledge and technology from a bygone civilization, now lost to history. This theory suggests that the astonishing precision and durability of Sacsayhuaman's walls could be evidence of an advanced pre-Inca society that had mastered construction techniques far beyond what was previously imagined for their time. Hancock's fascination doesn't stop at the construction techniques. He delves into the site's possible acoustic properties and astronomical alignments, suggesting that Sacsayhuaman was not just an architectural marvel, but also a center for astronomical observation and sound engineering. These features hint at a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos and sound, further fueling the speculation that the site's creators were far more advanced than we give them credit for. The mystery of Sacsayhuaman is deepened by the Incas' lack of a written language, which has led to a significant loss of their oral history following the Spanish conquest. This absence of concrete historical records leaves a gap in our understanding of the site's true purpose and the extent of the Incas' architectural knowledge. Despite these challenges, Sacsayhuaman's cultural and historical significance cannot be overstated. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it attracts thousands of tourists each year, serving as a vital link to the past and a testament to the Inca civilization's ingenuity. Now, the story of the Inca Empire, or Tawantinsuyu. This narrative takes us back to the early 13th century, around the region of Cusco in what's now Peru. It's here that the saga begins with Manco Capac, the mythical founder and first emperor believed to be chosen by the sun god Inti himself. From such divine origins, the Inca embarked on an ambitious journey of expansion, blending military might and diplomatic savvy to weave together a tapestry of conquered territories and assimilated cultures. At its zenith, this empire spanned modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia, creating the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. But what truly sets the Inca apart are their engineering marvels. Imagine a network of roads over 40,000 kilometers long, connecting the arid coastlines of Peru to the snow-capped Andes, a testament to the Inca's engineering genius. This wasn't just any road system, it was the Capac Ñan, or the Royal Road, a feat of ancient infrastructure that included everything from stone-paved paths to suspension bridges made of woven grass. These pathways were vital arteries of the empire, supported by tambos and storehouses that provided essential supplies to travelers and military expeditions alike. Yet, the Incas' ingenuity didn't stop at roadways. They transformed the steep Andean mountainsides with agricultural terraces, preventing erosion and expanding arable land, all while developing sophisticated irrigation systems to water these terraced fields. Their expertise in water management extended to canals and aqueducts that channeled water from mountain springs to dry areas, ensuring the survival of dense populations. The heart of this empire was Cusco, a city that was not only the political center but also an urban planning marvel. Cusco was divided into sectors that mirrored the four parts of the empire, each sector meticulously planned and organized. And then there's Machu Picchu, the crown jewel of Inca architecture, perched high in the mountains and blending seamlessly with the landscape. This iconic site, with its terraces, temples, and palaces, showcases the Incas' unparalleled skill in stonework, stones so precisely cut and fitted that they've withstood centuries of earthquakes. Now moving back to Graham Hancock, a name synonymous with challenging the traditional narratives of history and archaeology, has long fascinated us with his theories on the ancient world.
Are we looking at the traces of a forgotten episode in human history? I think so. I think that's what's going on here.
He suggests that civilizations like the Inca were not only more technologically advanced, but also more interconnected than we've been led to believe. Let's take a closer look at some of the intriguing ideas Hancock puts forward. First off, consider the Incas' ingenious system of communication. They had these runners known as chasqui, who could sprint across the empire's vast network of roads and trails, passing messages with incredible efficiency. But it wasn't just about legwork. The Inca also used quipus, complex knot patterns on strings that may have been more than mere accounting tools. Hancock muses that these could have carried detailed messages, perhaps even stories across vast distances. He even floats the idea that there might have been even more sophisticated yet undiscovered methods of communication, hinting at a possible global network of ancient knowledge sharing. Then there's the matter of construction techniques. The precision seen in the stonework of sites like Sacsayhuaman is staggering. Without mortar, these stones have been cut and fitted together so perfectly that they've withstood earthquakes for centuries. Hancock suggests this might point to lost technologies, far more advanced than what's been historically acknowledged.
Perhaps a decision was made not to use metal. Perhaps a decision was made that errors had taken place, that in reinventing civilization we shouldn't perhaps go down quite the same route as before.
And it's not just about stones and construction. He speculates the Inca had ways to harness natural energies, like geothermal or solar energy, in ways we're yet to fully understand. Hancock doesn't stop there. He observes how the Incas' agricultural practices, from terracing to sophisticated irrigation, showcase a sustainable way of living with the environment, possibly part of a broader, now-lost knowledge of ancient civilizations. This idea of sustainability, coupled with their architectural and engineering feats, paints a picture of a society that was not only advanced but deeply in tune with the natural world. Moreover, Hancock draws parallels between the architectural styles, religious beliefs, and cultural practices across different ancient civilizations. The similarities in megalithic constructions across South America, Egypt, and Asia, the use of psychoactive plants in spiritual rituals, and even practices like cranial deformation and mummification suggest a web of cultural exchange or influence that spans the globe. Graham Hancock, a name often associated with thinking outside of the box. Among his many interests, the Inca Empire stands out for its sophisticated communication networks and astronomical know-how, areas where Hancock's ideas veer sharply from the mainstream narrative. Hancock looks at the Incas' architectural marvels, like the precision-engineered Temple of the Sun at Machu Picchu, and sees a civilization deeply in tune with the cosmos. These buildings weren't just about looking pretty. They aligned with celestial events like the solstices and equinoxes, serving both practical agricultural needs and the ceremonial calendar. It's this star-aligned architecture that leads Hancock to ponder if the Incas' cosmic knowledge was inherited from an even older global civilization, suggesting a world where ancient peoples shared a sophisticated understanding of astronomy long before it was thought possible. Hancock's theories, while met with skepticism from the academic establishment, undeniably add zest to the ongoing dialogue about our ancestors. By proposing that the Inca were part of a technologically advanced and interconnected ancient world, he challenges us to rethink what we thought we knew about the past. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, Hancock's insights into the Inca Empire invite us all to explore the mysteries of ancient civilizations with fresh eyes, reminding us that history is anything but written in stone.
Have you ever imagined stumbling upon a city lost to time, hidden beneath the earth for centuries?
Large cities flourished in the Amazon. Enormous cities.
When you have written documents that have survived, if you can translate those documents, you can begin to get a fair sense of how history was unfolding. It's a very treacherous and dangerous place to be.
Can you just imagine what other mysteries lie in await of human discovery with all the untouched areas of the world?
Explorations and archaeological discoveries in jungle environments have significantly expanded our understanding of ancient civilizations. These lush, often formidable environments have hidden the remnants of societies from the prying eyes of modern civilization until relatively recently. But now, with newer technologies, we are able to look into these jungles without having to venture on foot. The lost city of the monkey god, also known as La Ciudad Blanca or the White City, has been shrouded in mystery and legend for centuries. Tucked away in the dense and nearly impassable jungles of the Mosquitia region in Honduras, this enigmatic city captured the imagination of explorers, historians, and archaeologists who dreamed of uncovering a forgotten civilization. It first came into the limelight with aerial photographs in 1939 suggesting its existence, but it was not until the use of LiDAR technology in 2012 that significant discoveries were made. LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging, uses laser light to map the ground below dense forest canopies, revealing hidden structures like plazas, mounds, and an impressive pyramid, which confirmed the presence of a major pre-Columbian settlement. Further explorations on the ground uncovered stone sculptures with Maya-like iconography, intricate terraces likely used for agriculture, and large communal plazas, all suggesting a bustling ancient community. The architecture seen here, especially the pyramid, aligns with traditional Mesoamerican styles, indicating a complex society that once thrived in what is now a remote and difficult-to-access area. The city's location, deep within the Mosquitia's diverse yet hostile rainforests, shielded it from modern looters and remained a daunting challenge for archaeologists due to the harsh conditions. Local myths have added to the allure of La Ciudad Blanca, with tales suggesting the area is protected by supernatural forces and cursed, a narrative possibly rooted in the indigenous reverence for their spiritual and cultural heritage. This has given rise to various names for the city, including the City of the Monkey God, where legend has it that a giant simian deity resided. The comparison of this site to Machu Picchu, discovered by Hiram Bingham in 1911, highlights stark differences. While Machu Picchu's high Andean location and dry climate helped preserve its structures, La Ciudad Blanca faces the relentless forces of a wet jungle that rapidly degrades man-made constructions and is fraught with perilous wildlife and diseases, making explorations particularly risky. Despite these challenges, La Ciudad Blanca is as much an ecological treasure as it is an archaeological one. Positioned in a largely untouched jungle area, it plays a vital role in local biodiversity. The ongoing explorations are slowly unraveling the complexities of Mesoamerican cultures and their interconnectedness, providing valuable insights into how ancient civilizations managed to adapt and flourish in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Each discovery at this site contributes essential pieces to our understanding of human history in the Americas, promising more revelations from this mystical city as research continues. Machu Picchu, often hailed as the lost city of the Incas, is a marvel of ancient engineering and design, first brought to global attention by historian Hiram Bingham in 1911. This well-preserved site, nestled between the Andean mountain peaks of Peru and above the Urubamba River Valley, offers not only breathtaking views but also a window into the sophisticated society of the Incas. The city's layout and the assembly of its buildings, large stone blocks cut and fitted together without mortar using a technique known as ashlar, reflect a high degree of architectural skill and understanding of seismic structural integrity, important in the earthquake-prone Andes. The urban design of Machu Picchu includes distinct residential, religious, and agricultural zones, optimally arranged to use the steep terrain to their advantage. Among its most significant structures are the Intihuatana stone, believed to have served as an astronomical clock or calendar, the Temple of the Sun, whose circular construction is aligned with the solstices, and the Room of the Three Windows, which holds cosmological importance and is positioned to catch the first rays of morning light. Thought to have been built in the 15th century as a retreat for Inca Emperor Pachacuti, Machu Picchu resembles more a royal estate than a city. It was a place for nobles, priests, and servants, with over 150 buildings from baths and houses to temples and sanctuaries, serving a variety of residential and ceremonial purposes. Its secluded location high above the Sacred Valley also kept it hidden from the Spanish conquistadors, preserving its mysteries until the early 20th century. The surrounding area of Machu Picchu is as ecologically diverse as it is visually stunning. Situated on the eastern slopes of the Andes and bordering the Amazon rainforest, it is home to a myriad of flora and fauna, some of which are endemic to the region. This biodiversity adds to the site's mystical allure and historical intrigue. Today, as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu draws hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. However, this popularity comes at a cost. The site faces significant preservation challenges due to the heavy foot traffic, prompting efforts to limit the number of visitors each day to protect its structural integrity and historical significance for future generations to appreciate and study. Moving on deep into the jungle, El Mirador, nestled in the Maya Biosphere Reserve in Guatemala, was rediscovered in 1926 and has been a goldmine of information on the pre-classic Maya civilization ever since. Flourishing from the 6th century BC to the 1st century AD, this ancient city's monumental architecture rivals even those from later Maya periods, offering a deep dive into the sophistication of early Maya engineers and architects. The city is perhaps best known for La Danta Temple, one of the largest pyramids in the world by volume. This massive structure stands about 70 meters tall and covers nearly 7 acres at its base. Its size and the effort required to build it are a testament to the advanced organizational skills of the Maya. Constructing La Danta involved quarrying and transporting enormous quantities of stone and earth, demanding a sophisticated understanding of engineering and logistics. The temple likely served as a central hub for rituals and community gatherings, playing a vital role in the religious and ceremonial life of El Mirador. Another significant structure, El Tigre, stands nearly 55 meters high and serves as a symbol of Maya religious and political power. Positioned strategically within the city, it likely hosted various communal and ceremonial activities, possibly even aligning with astronomical events. The Triadic Pyramids, unique to El Mirador and similar pre-classic cities, feature a large central pyramid flanked by 2 smaller ones, all on a single platform. This configuration might have represented a sacred trio of Maya deities and was crucial for the city's spiritual life. El Mirador's urban planning was also remarkably sophisticated, with an intricate network of causeways known as sac bays, linking major city structures. These are among the earliest known roads in the Americas and highlight the city's advanced urban planning capabilities. Large plazas were central to public life, hosting gatherings and ceremonies, and the city's extensive water management systems, including reservoirs and canals, were essential for sustaining its large population. Comparing El Mirador's architecture to other ancient wonders, such as the Egyptian Pyramid of Khufu at Giza, offers some perspective on their monumental scale. Although the Great Pyramid is taller, La Danta's base covers a larger area, reflecting different architectural focuses and social uses between these 2 civilizations. While the Maya utilized horizontal layers of stone and packed earth, the Egyptians built with large limestone blocks, each method showcasing the unique engineering insights and materials preferred by these cultures. Another ancient discovery would be Tikal in Guatemala. It's not just another ancient city. It's a beacon that illuminates the rich tapestry of the ancient Maya civilization. Discovered for the Western world by Ambrosio Tut in 1848, and now part of the Tikal National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979, this sprawling archaeological site has been pivotal in understanding the complexities of Maya society. Its grand temples and palaces echo the architectural brilliance and urban planning acumen of a civilization that knew how to mold its environment to its needs. The city itself is a marvel of design, featuring some of the tallest temples ever erected by the Maya, set against a backdrop of dense Central American jungle. These structures are linked by an extensive network of raised stone pathways or causeways, which facilitated essential aspects of city life such as trade, military movements, and public communication. One of the standout structures is Temple 4, which soars about 70 meters into the sky, making it one of the tallest pre-Columbian buildings in the Americas. From its peak, one could easily survey the sprawling cityscape and the encroaching jungle beyond. At the city's core lies the Great Plaza, flanked by temples the Pan and the Tu, and surrounded by the north and central acropolises. This plaza was the ceremonial heart of Tikal, pulsating with the energy of myriad public gatherings and rituals. Temple Waz, known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, was built as a monumental tomb for King Jasar Chankawil, one of Tikal's most revered rulers. Directly across from it stands Temple 2, or the Temple of the Masks, believed to have been erected by the king's wife to honor his legacy, suggesting intriguing aspects of gender and power within royal circles. When compared to Teotihuacan in Mexico, with its rigid urban grid and massive pyramids like the pyramids of the Sun and the Moon, Tikal presents a contrasting image. Its city plan harmoniously blends into its jungle environment, and its temples reach towards the sky as if to touch the divine. This difference in architectural philosophy highlights the diversity in Mesoamerican urban planning and religious expression. Preserving such a magnificent site is no small feat. Tikal's remote location and humid tropical climate pose continuous threats from vegetation overgrowth and structural decay, challenging conservationists who must tread the fine line between maintaining archaeological integrity and supporting the natural ecosystem that has reclaimed these ruins. Through ongoing excavation and research, it remains a crucial site for archaeologists and historians eager to delve deeper into the pre-Columbian past of the Americas, offering new stories and insights that gradually piece together the complex mosaic of human history in this lush region.